Welcome to Web 101 with wiredzero. In this video, we'll be setting up a local web development environment, or LAMP server, in Linux, equipped with everything you'll need to emulate a live server scenario, including Apache, MySQL, and PHP. We'll also be installing 2 additional applications to assist in our local web development environment: PHP MyAdmin and an IDE for our code editing. I'll be using Linux Mint 19 codename Terra, the Mate edition. However, any current Ubuntu-based distro should work fine without any problems. This video will take into consideration that you already have your Linux OS up and running, and you're ready to begin installing and configuring all the packages, settings, and permissions required. So why set up your local environment for developing? In short, it's more efficient to work locally before deploying your web project to a live running server. Here's a quick breakdown on what this tutorial will go over. LAMP. LAMP is a stack that contains almost everything you need to get a basic web server installed and up and running. LAMP stands for Linux, Apache, MySQL, and PHP. Apache is the actual web server. MySQL is the database server, and PHP is the coding language that will be used. PHP MyAdmin, not included in the LAMP stack, is an application that we will use to work with our MySQL databases. Atom, also not included in the LAMP stack, is the code editor that I will be using in this tutorial. However, any IDE or code/text editor will work. A link to all the resources in this video will be in the description below. So with that said, let's get started and build our LAMP stack. All right, so here we are. We're on our desktop. We're going to install our LAMP stack. Now, like I said, I'm going to be using Linux Mint, but any Ubuntu-based distro is going to work fine. So the first thing we want to do here is we want to update our newest versions of packages and dependencies from the repositories. So in order to do that, we need to open up and fire up the terminal. So go ahead and open up your terminal. If you're on Linux Mint, you can pretty much follow exactly what I'm doing here. So what we want to type is sudo apt get update, and then throw your password in there. And when this is complete, we're going to go ahead and we're going to do an upgrade. All right, so let's type in clear out this window. All right, now we're going to install the newest versions of packages installed. So let's type in sudo apt get upgrade. And select yes and continue. All right, now what we're going to install is tasks.el. Tasks.el is a tool in Ubuntu/Debian which helps install multiple related packages as a coordinated task. In other words, it's going to include all the libraries and everything we need. So in Linux Mint, and I'm sure Ubuntu and a handful of Ubuntu distros, it's not included, so we need to basically install it. So let's go ahead and type in sudo apt get install tasks.el. And when prompted, we're going to let it install by selecting yes or Y. Okay, now we have tasks.el installed, so we need to run it. So in order to do that, we simply type in sudo tasks.el. Now, if you're with me on this version of getting your LAMP stack installed in Linux, I salute you. We all need to be using Linux. I use this personally. This is how I would basically start out my web development environment. So, I salute you. I'm going to have other videos showing people how to do this in Mac OS and Windows, where it's just one executable file, executing you throughout everything, which doesn't really give you the foundation, the respect that you have when you're working with Linux. So, that's great. So let's go ahead and run tasks.el, and that's going to go ahead and prompt us for what we want to install here, which is great. Great application. All right, so we're going to go to LAMP server. So basically use your up down arrow, and we're going to go down to LAMP server. Remember, Linux, Apache, MySQL, and PHP. Hit the space bar so it's selected. Hit tab, and then we're going to have OK hovered, and we're going to hit enter. Okay, now we have our LAMP stack installing on our operating system. All right, now that we have our LAMP stack installed, let's make sure we have Apache running. So go ahead and open up your web browser of choice. This is a fresh version of Linux Mint, so I'm just going to open up Firefox, and we're going to type in localhost. And if everything went correctly, we should have our default page here. Now the default page is going to be in a directory /var/www/html. Now I like to work just in the root www directory or www directory. So we're going to go ahead and set that up now. So we're going to learn the command here. If you don't know it already, I'm sure you do. The nano tab. So let's go ahead and navigate over to, first let's go sudo. Well, we don't need that yet. So let's just go cd/var. Okay. So if we do ls on this, we'll see we have the www directory in there. So if we go to cd www, we ls that, we have the HTML directory there. But that's not what we want. So what we want to do is we're going to go to sudo nano/etc/apache2/sites available /000-default.conf. I think that's it. Okay, yeah, that does it. So then we're going to go down here to where we have document root, and we're going to change that. I want to take out the HTML, so we're just left with /var/www. So I can have all my files, all my individual websites in this directory. Okay. And my point of this video is to make a video where actual web developers are working in their own local environment, and not just people that like kinda know how to get to a point where it's like, all right, here's everything. I didn't go over permissions, you know, how to set, you know, how many files can be uploaded. Like there's a limit of 20, you know, none of that is usually described in videos. So I'm trying to, you know, get everything available in this video. And again, most of this in your Mac and your Windows versions of like MAMP and XAMPP are going to be, you know, throughout the install, ready to go. Linux, it's not that easy, but once it's set, it's, in my opinion, better. So we have that set there, so we can hold down Control and hit O and enter, and then Control exit, and you know, we're good to go. So now our www directory is our root directory for Apache. Okay. So now what we want to do is we want to activate the mod rewrites. What's a mod rewrite? So basically, if you're working with .htaccess files, and we're going to do like URL redirects, things like that, we need to, you know, enable that. So in order to do that, again, I'm going to have all the resources here. So this will be in step 6. The previous one was step 5. Sorry, I jumped off that for a minute, but this is step 6. So what we're going to do is type in sudo a2enmod rewrite, and that's going to go ahead and set that for us. All right. So once we have that set, what we need to do is we need to basically restart Apache. So sudo systemctl restart Apache 2. Okay, so we're good there. Now we need to move on to step 7. So I'm trying to keep track in my head of my notes and what I'm going to put in, you know, the description and the notes for this. We need to allow for the overrides in the Apache 2 configuration file. So in order to do that, what we're going to do is we're going to type in sudo nano. Now nano is our text editor or our terminal editor. Okay, so what we're going to type in is etc, so /etc/apache 2 /apache 2.conf or config, but here it's conf. Hit enter, and I got that wrong, so let's do that again. So clear this out. So what we're going to do is sudo nano /etc/apache 2 /apache 2.conf. Okay, there we go. All right. And now what we're going to do is we're going to scroll all the way down to the bottom, and we could do that easily if you want by down arrow, down arrow, down arrow. We're looking for that. So it's going to be down at the bottom, and we're looking for right here for the www directory where it says directory /var /www. We're going to look for override, allow override, and we're going to change that to all. Okay, right there, and Control O, enter, and we wrote them. Control X, and now we're good with our override file. Now we move on to setting permissions. So this is the deep part. This is where a lot of videos don't really touch on. So we're going to go ahead and touch on that now. All right, file permissions can get pretty elaborate. For the sake of this video, I'm going to get you to the point where you can write to your www directory, create subfolders in that, and you can have your, personal web environment to develop in. Okay, so what we're going to do while we're in the terminal, we're going to type in sudo space chgrp space www dash data space / var / www. Okay, put your password in. All right, now what we're going to do is we're going to make this writable. So we're going to type in sudo chmod space 775. I'm going to do a video on file permissions, but like I said, for the sake of this video, we're going to go ahead and follow my steps here. Space / var / www. Okay. Now what we're going to do is we're going to set the group ID for the subfolders within this directory. So we're going to type in sudo chmod space g plus s space / var / www. Okay. Now what we're going to do is we're going to add our username to the group. So we're going to type in sudo user mod space -a -g space www -data space our username. In my case, it's going to be Egon. That's my login for this Linux install. All right. Now I'm going to give myself ownership, and I'm going to use my username. So I'm going to type in sudo chown space Egon, my username, / var / www. Okay, now I'm going to restart Apache. So I'm going to do sudo service Apache 2 space restart. All right. Now we're going to install PHP MyAdmin. All right, so here's how we're going to install PHP MyAdmin. All right, installing PHP MyAdmin. All right, so this is going to be step 9 in the notes. I had to think about that for a second. All right, so let's go ahead and install PHP MyAdmin. So we're going to do in the terminal sudo apt get install PHP MyAdmin. Yes, we want to confirm it. Enter. And we're going to use this with Apache 2. So right off the bat, it's set on Apache 2. So hit the space bar, and that'll throw an asterisk in there. Hit the tab key and enter on OK. And yes, we're going to configure a database for PHP MyAdmin. And go ahead and put a password in here. Tab for OK. Confirm your password. Okay, we have PHP MyAdmin installed. Now to verify that we have PHP MyAdmin installed, let's open up a browser in your operating system Again, this is a fresh install of Linux Mint, so I'm just going to open up Firefox and we're going to type in local. Get everything out of there. Local host / PHP MyAdmin. And we should get a login screen. That's fantastic. Now, we need to log in and create a user. We're going to create a new user. So this is where a lot of tutorials, I think, go off base here. So here's the best way of doing that. So in the terminal, what we're going to type in, okay, and I'm going to have this in the notes. So we're going to type in sudo space nano space / etc / mysql / debian.cnf. Okay, and that's going to give us our login right there. So what we want to do here is the user is going to be the same. It's always going to be this. So let's just highlight that and copy it. Okay, and we're going to create a new file on the desktop, empty file. Okay, move this over. Call it MySQL. No, not there. Here. Let's paste that in there. Okay, and this temporary password that we're going to work with. Now, keep in mind we're only working local, so we don't have to really worry about security too much. I'm going to do a video on UFW soon and how to, secure your Linux box, but let's just grab that. So copy that. That's our password. Okay. So paste that there. So we have that. So if we go back to our login at localhost / PHP MyAdmin, and we take the username, which is pretty much always the same. You're going to be doing this over and over again. It's the password we want right here. Okay. We copy that. We're going to paste it in here. And we're in. Okay. Now, right off the bat, what we want to do is we're going to create a user. So we're going to use user accounts. All right. Again, this is where we're going to be working with our databases in our local environment. So at this point, you are at almost the finish line here. Okay. So let's create a user. So I'm going to add user account. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and put in wiredzero. Okay. Local host. You could have left that. I always use localhost. Password. Type in your password. And we're going to repeat our password here. All right. And I'm going to grant all privileges right here. This check mark. Check all. All right. Again, we're working local. If this is a live server, there'd be different security measures that we'd have, but we're pretty much set there. So we now successfully have Apache installed. We have PHP installed, and we have our MySQL installed, plus the PHP MyAdmin, which we're going to be able to now access, create databases, tables, whatever we want to do, in MySQL via PHP MyAdmin. So we're doing good. We're almost there, almost to the finish line. All right, this was going to be an optional part of the video, but I figured, yeah, got to get it in. If you're going to be running PHP MyAdmin and working with existing databases, you're gonna encounter problems when you're importing databases, creating tables, yada yada yada. So want to address that here so we can avoid that. So let's fix a couple things here. There's two things we need to fix. All right, so let's go to the terminal and type in sudo space nano, or web or terminal editor, space / usr / share / php myadmin / libraries / plugin _ interface .lib.php and hit enter. Okay. Now what we're going to do is we're going to hold down Control and hit W so we can search. And then what we want to search for is options and then underscore. And that'll pretty much put us right here. So on this line right here, where we have end count, okay, right before options, okay, we want to put an array in like that. Okay. Now we're going to hold down Control and hit O. And we're going to save that, and then Control X, and then we did the first part. There's a second part. So let's fix that second part now. All right, the second thing we need to fix in PHP MyAdmin, so everything works, is the sql.lib.php file. So what we're going to do is in the terminal, we're going to type in sudo nano space /usr/share /php myadmin /libraries /sql.lib.php. Okay, now that we're in here, we're going to hold down Control and hit W, and we're going to search for parentheses count parentheses $analyzed. All right, and it's going to take us right here. Okay, so we have this line right here. Okay, so what we want to do is right here, we're going to put another parentheses, and we're going to close the last bracket off with the same thing, with the closing bracket. That's all we got to do. Control O, enter to save it. Control X, we're out, and we are good to go. So now, at this point, we are error-free with PHP MyAdmin, working with MySQL within, the PHP coding language in the Apache server environment. So we are golden. All right, now it's time to install Atom. My personal preference in an IDE or code editor. So let's go ahead and open the terminal once again. And what we want to do is type in sudo space add -apt -repository space ppa : web upd8 team /atom. Okay, now we're going to put a password in. Okay, now what we want to do is we want to do sudo apt get update, like we did earlier in the first part of this video. Okay. And once this is done, we're going to install Atom. So now what we're going to type in is sudo apt get install Atom. I really appreciate you hanging in here. I hope my tutorials help you. And once we're done here, we'll have a fully working web development environment within Linux. In my case, Linux Mint. I've tried them all. I like it as my desktop go-to driver OS. Just seems to work. Yeah, it just works. Really not a fan of Ubuntu. I respect it on my server outlets. I respect it highly. But as my, like I said, driver for my desktop, this is the shit. Hey! All right, now we should have Atom installed. So if we go down the Start menu, search for Atom. It's right there. And there we go. There we have Atom. Okay, maximize the screen here, and I'll do a tutorial like later on going over some stuff I'd like to add on to Atom, but for now we're going to open folder. Okay, and then here we're going to go to our file system, and we're going to look for var. Okay, dub. Okay, in here I'm going to create a folder. I'm going to call this wiredzero. Yeah. Okay. And we're going to open that. So you see we have the right permissions right here. So that whole earlier, section of the video. So we're going to create a new file, and I'm going to call this index.php. Okay. So now we have a new index file. And then we're going to create some PHP. Now, I know I'm this is like early on, but let's just make sure our PHP is working. So we're going to go ahead and PHP, okay? And I'm going to echo hello world. Okay, save that. Okay, so that should be saved. So now if I open up our web browser, in my case, it's going to be Firefox. Again, this is a fresh install of Linux Mint. And if I go to localhost / wiredzero, I should see hello world. There we have it. There's your Linux local environment. No need to set permissions after this. No need to do anything. We have it going. So here's the first episode of many, but this is how you install your local web environment in Linux. Peace out. Have a good night. wiredzero out.